welcome to Golf Betting Club's The Closing Stretch. This week it's the Mexico Open at Vidanta. I'm Diane Knox Balas, joined by Duncan and Neil Campbell. Now guys, at the start of the week, with this being a new course on the PGA Tour, all the hype was saying it was one for the Bombers, and it certainly lived up to the expectation.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. I actually stumbled upon an interview with the tournament director on Sunday night, and he was very confident about how the rough won't be an issue this week, and it's going to play long, and we're going to see the Bombers prevail. And I think that's what led to me being so strong on Cameron Champ at the start of the week. So we had a podcast, we did a for the win for Bet Rivers, and I was saying that it's actually my strongest bet of the season. I just couldn't believe he was 50-1 after how he played at the Masters. So all parts of his game looked in great order. And I thought, longest driver on tour, surely he's going to be an advantage on this course. Mm-hmm. And it's proved correct, but I was tearing my hair out at his finish yesterday, which we'll see if he can get back from today, but fingers crossed.
Well, we're going to talk about Champ, who's 2 back at 13 under. Duncan John Ram is leading the pack at 15 under par. He was the real headline superstar name heading into this week. And, I was a little bit surprised to see him in the field in the first place. But, he was 100% the favourite heading into the week. And he's been leading 15 under par, 2-shot lead now, opening with a 64. So what do you make of John Ram and this performance that we're seeing from him?
Yeah, he's looked excellent, hasn't he? At the start of the week, he was only 4-1. And Neil and I spoke about him a lot. And we were kind of the opinion that if he goes ahead and wins the tournament, having started at 4-1, we're happy to let that pass. 4-1 just wasn't a backable price, in our opinion. Even though the course suits, and he's looked great this week. The 4-1 at the start of the week just wasn't a price that we were willing to entertain. And if he goes on and wins today, then so be it. But he has looked excellent so far this week. There's no denying that. And his interviews after each round have just been oozing confidence. He's been talking about how he's been playing really well. The putter's been working. Even after yesterday's round, he was talking about how he could feel that all the fans were cheering him on, and he was the favourite, amongst the locals. So it certainly seems like everything is going in Ram's favour at the moment, and he's obviously very much the man to beat going into the final round.
And, world number 2, obviously, maybe that gave him a little bit of a boost knowing that Scheffler knocked him off the world number 1 spot at the Masters. But we just haven't really seen this consistent form from Ram lately. So, even at 4-1, there was a question mark over him just with how he's been playing lately. However, as you say, he's been solid tee to green throughout the whole week. But we're not looking at him today. He's not going to be our favourite pick.
Oh, he's 100% the favourite to win. And if you look back at his round yesterday, he actually didn't pull a putt of any size until the 18th hole. Although he wasn't hitting his approaches extremely close, they were always that sort of mid-range. Mm-hmm. But if Ram can find a few more putts, he's going to be very hard to beat. And I think we're going to have to find someone coming at him rather than him going back to the pack today, because his tee to green game, he just doesn't look like he's got many misses in him. Yeah, and that short, compact swing just looked tremendous this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the one thing to say about Ram, just before we move on, is that he has let a couple of opportunities slip since he won the US Open last year, hasn't he? He obviously went toe-to-toe with Cam Smith at the Tournament of Champions at the start of the year, and Cam Smith got the better of him. Ram wasn't excellent that day, and Smith obviously prevailed, and then he had a chance at the Farmers, I think, as well in January. And he let that one slip as well. So, he's not infallible when he's leading or near the top. And the others, like Neil says, if one of them makes a go at it, I think, they've got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's kind of work down the leaderboard. Just 2 shots back and in a tie for second, Kurt Kittiyama and Cameron Champ. We were all just saying that we were kicking ourselves that we didn't pick Kittiyama, because he has been playing really well, and he's one of these players who's 100% trending in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you look back at where his European Tour wins have come, or his DP World Tour as it is now, have come, they've been kind of similar type of courses. He talked about how his wins have come on island type resort courses, Paspalum grass. He's a long hitter of the ball. He ticks loads of boxes this week. and he's certainly one that's got away from us. The one kind of thing about Kittiyama is that he was a few kind of tee shots yesterday that were a bit wide, and there was certainly some iron shots towards the end as well. On the par 3, I think it's the 16th or 17th, that was a really wide shot. So question marks about Kittiyama, but certainly one that got away at the start of the week when you think about all the boxes that he ticks.
Yeah, and what a position for him to be in. Right, Neil, I'm coming to you for the Cameron Champ chat though, because as I said, he's 2 back, 13 under par, has played great all week, 67, 66, 67, and you backed him at the very start of the week, getting a great price for Champ.
Yeah, like I said, so strong in him, and throughout most of the round yesterday, I couldn't have felt more confident. When he was on the 15th fairway, I thought it was just a brilliant round he was piecing together. Mm-hmm. And he's just made 2 mistakes on 15 and 16 with short irons going in. He's overclubbed and he's short-sided himself basically, and he's thrown away his lead, and then he failed to capitalise on the reachable par 5 on the 18th. So I think that's going to be a hard one for Champ to overcome mentally, and I think that his start, first few holes, we'll see which way his round is going to go. Although he is, you can't say he's not a closer. He's won 3 times in the last 4 years on tour. He has thrown away a couple of opportunities in the past when he's coming into the final round, just 1 or 2 shots off the lead. So I personally believe he sometimes gets too aggressive, and I think that's what we've seen yesterday. He was attacking pins that maybe he could have played a little bit more conservative on the 15th and 16th. So I would have preferred him going into the lead, the final round with the lead. But hopefully he can work himself into the lead early on, and then I would be confident from there on. Okay.
Hey, you got him at the start of the week at 50-1. Well, actually, he went up, wasn't he? He was 50-1, and then you got him at what, 66-1?
Oh, I think he opened at 66-1 briefly. There wasn't enough time for us to get the tip out to the subscribers, so we got the 50-1, which was 8 places as well. So we're happy enough with that. Yeah. And it was our strongest staking of the year as well. I think we put 1.5 points each way, which is quite a heavy staking for us. Okay. So.
Okay, and then there's another name that you picked at the start of the week as well, who, again, I'm kicking myself because I've been so big on him. He was one of my top picks alongside Will Zalatoris at the Zurich, and then they ended up with a fantastic finish. But Davis Riley is 12 under, so 3 back right now, and you guys had backed him at the start of the week too.
Yeah, absolutely. He was another one that kind of ticks the formula or ticks the boxes that we were looking for this week. He's long off the tee, in good recent form. He actually won on the Corn Ferry Tour on a Greg Norman design, which is a similar design that we've got this week. And he's won outside of mainland USA as well. He won in Panama as well when he was on the Corn Ferry Tour. So he's shown that he likes Greg Norman designs. He's shown that he can win outside of mainland USA, and he's a long hitter. So he ticked a lot of the boxes this week for us. And he was another one that we liked to go well this week. And he's certainly got a chance. He's putting really well this week. And he spoke again in the post-round interview about how he's been striking the ball really well for the last month or so. And if that continues and the putter continues to go well, then he's certainly got a chance. He's certainly going to win a tournament on the PGA Tour very soon.
Yeah, well done, you guys, for backing him at the start of the week. What price did you get for him?
He was 50-1 as well.
Okay. And with this field, I mean, we talk about John Ram being the kind of headliner, but with the, I guess I hate saying reduced quality field, it really is such an opportunity week for someone like Riley. Rookie year on tour, has been playing well, had a great week last week, has experience on a course like this, coming into a week like this, and, he's obviously only 3 back heading into the final round. It is a real opportunity day for him.
And I think that's a good point as well. I think it's a great opportunity, these sort of events where we come to a new course that no one's seen. It's kind of almost a leveler for these rookies. So we're seeing the likes of Kurt Kittiyama and Davis Riley up there. It's a perfect opportunity to back them because most weeks they're playing courses that these guys have played 5 to 10 times. And whereas this week everyone's coming in a little bit blind. So I think that was another factor for backing Riley. And in fact, at the current odds, I'm just looking now, Cameron Champ is 13-2 and Davis Riley is 14-1. Wow. I think out of the two, I would prefer Riley. just after how he performed at the Valspar when he took on Sam Burns. I just think that recent contention will put him in good stead today, and it's almost double the price. If you were getting involved today and you aren't a subscriber to our tips, I would probably be leaning towards Riley at 14s.
Okay. Right. Duncan, are we looking any further back than Riley at 12 under?
I don't think Nate Lashley has the firepower in order to kind of mount a challenge. I know he had a very good round yesterday, but he kind of played a little bit earlier in the day. And we've seen throughout the week that the wind really kicks up here. So I'm kind of discounting Nate Lashley, even though he's a proven performer on kind of island courses as well. I'd take Nate Lashley out of the equation. Neil likes Patrick Rogers. We liked Rogers at the start of the week, and we actually put him up for first round leader. And he finished just outside the each way places. So it'll be really frustrating for us if Patrick Rogers goes on and wins. You know, we had that discussion at the start of the week about Rogers. You know, do you like him better as a first round leader or to win the tournament? And Rogers tends to be someone that starts fast and kind of maybe fades away as the tournament progresses. So we were quite happy with our first round leader decision. And so if he goes on to win, you know, that'd be a bit of a disappointment. But I think like really you're looking at the top six. You know, you're going to have to catch Ram. And I can't see Ram, you know, going backwards too much. You know, he might shoot 1 or 2 under, you know, have a slow day. But I think really someone's going to have a low round. And with that wind kicking up in the afternoon, that kind of limits the scoring in the afternoon, I think. So I would be looking too far outside the top six for me. Okay. And I'll let Neil outline the case for Patrick Rogers for you.
I know, I can tell that he's itching to go.
No, the case was fairly obvious for Rogers at the start of the week. I think Patrick Rogers' weakness is in general he's a wild driver. And as soon as I heard there was room off the tee this week, and you want to bomb it as far up there as possible to give yourself a shorter iron, he was top of, you know, he was very high on my short list.
Yeah.
And then we had that discussion, and we're kicking ourselves now that we didn't go outright instead of first round lead. But he's right in there. He was bogey free yesterday. He's playing just as well in it as anyone. And I think coming from off the pace definitely suits someone like Rogers, who hasn't crossed the line yet. He's had several near misses. I think three second place finishes. Mm-hmm. One of which was a final round 64 in the RSM. I think that was back in 2018, and he lost in a playoff then. So I just think it's the sort of event where I think he's great odds this week. Today, 20 to 1. And he's only 3 back of Ram, and you can get the 3 places on the each way if you're betting each way, which we will be. So we're going to have a small bet on Rogers just to make up our trio of challengers to Ram today.
I like it.
I think it's also interesting that Rogers won outside of mainland USA as well. You know, he won in Bogota on the Corn Ferry Tour. So he's another that ticks that box of, you know, having won outside of mainland USA. So there's certainly a kind of trend this week. If the tour comes back next year, we're certainly looking for those kind of players who have shown that they're long off the tee, have won, you know, maybe or performed well outside of mainland USA. And I think 6 of the top 7 as we go into this final round are in the top 50 in driving distance this year. On the PGA Tour. So really it's, if we come back, you know, make sure we look for driving distance in Mexico.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then do you have a parlay today, Dunk?
No parlay today. I think the bookmakers have actually got the prices pretty much spot on for a lot of the 3 balls. There is one bet though that I like, and it's going to be small stakes, but I think Grayson Murray is worth a bit of interest to finish in the top 20. If you read our previews, you know that we select a couple of players on the preview who narrowly missed out on selection for subscribers. Grayson Murray was 500 to 1 this week, and he was under consideration due to the fact that he was 3rd in Puerto Rico last year. So another, you know, performance outside of mainland USA. Yeah. And he had a strong finish on the Corn Ferry Tour on his last start. He was 26th. Now Grayson started really slowly this week. He had a 73 in the opening round, and he only made the cut on the number. But yesterday was a really strong day. You know, he's had 2 strong days in a row now. Bogey free yesterday as well, which is notable. And he's currently in 24th place at the moment, 1 shot outside of the top 20, and you can get him at 3 to 1 to finish in the top 20. So I think if you're looking for an alternative bet today, Grayson Murray at 3-1 to finish in the top 20 would be my bet.
But is he beating Kevin Na? That's the that's the beef that was on the range at the start of the week, wasn't it, between the two of them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Grayson's got beef with everyone, does he not?
My complete outsider pick was Martin Traynor at the start of the week, but I was like, I think I tipped him for a top 40 finish, which the odds were still really good, but he had a 6 under round on Friday and he's sitting T35 5 under right now. So, again, another long hitter who is not necessarily very accurate off the tee, but again, it's just not penalising at this course. So
he's another one that's won outside the mainland USA.
Yeah, that was my...
He won in Mexico as well, didn't he? So, definitely follow the trends.
I know. These exotic destinations. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're hoping for a big money day from Cameron Champ or Davis Riley or potentially Patrick Rogers, because that would make Neil very happy.
I think all three would happy.
Yeah, I think Champ's the big one for sure. And from what the guys are saying, it just proves why you should be part of Golf Betting Club and subscribe and get involved. Duncan, talk a little bit about how it works and what you guys send out every week.
Yeah, so every week, once you subscribe, we send out our tips using a service called Telegram. It's similar to WhatsApp, if you perhaps use WhatsApp already. But we'll send out our tips on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll give a range of different tips. So we'll have outright tips. We might have some first round leader selections like we did this week. It could be a top 20 or a top 40 bet, or even a match bet. We quite often give out tips on match bets. We had a really good match tip last week, where we found out that Marcel Siem had been injured on the European Tour, and we told our subscribers to oppose Marcel Siem in the first round, and obviously that then went on to win because Marcel hadn't played in the last 7 weeks. So it's not just the outright tips that we give. We give a whole range of different selections, and if we get any information, we obviously pass it on to subscribers. So you can go into the website, golfbettingclub.com, and you can find out how to subscribe there, and that'll give you a link to sign up. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can find us at Golf Betting Club on Twitter.
Yep, always very active on Twitter with the action. And then this show comes out every Sunday. We have the show and the podcast as well. So if you can subscribe on YouTube and then all the other podcast apps and sites, that would be great. And well, let's hope for a very profitable day. Come on, Cameron Champ.